What is today's task? Write from dictation. Very important item type in which module? Listening module. But before we start write from dictation, we will go through the introduction part first, okay? Which is the part of the speaking module, although it is not scored, but you need to give a good introduction of 4 to 5 sentences with confidence, so that you carry the same confidence when you start doing your speaking module. Okay, so let's start with that. You have to give me 3 or 4 5 sentences about yourself. Most times they will give you that bullet points when they start when you start the exam. They give you bullet points, and most of them they include your name, a little bit about your education level, why you are doing PTE, and what is your required score, and why you prefer PTE over other English exams, and your hobbies, if any. So you should have good looking 5 sentences prepared, hands-on sentences prepared beforehand. Okay, so probably we will start with from you, Naresh.
Uh, Hi everyone, my name is Naresh. By profession, I was project engineer, civil engineer in India, and I'm looking for 65 each in PTE score because of my nursing education. I prefer PTE over the other English exam because of its computer based. My hobbies is playing chess and reading.
That's good.
My name is Bian. I have done Bachelor of Science in Nursing. My PTE score is 65 each, and I required PTE to complete my nursing registration. Traveling to a long distance and cooking is my hobby.
Are my hobbies, and then a little bit correction there. You don't have PT score. My required PT score is 65 each for my nursing registration. Manjinder?
My name is Manjinder. I have done Diploma of Nursing. I'm doing PT because I needed 65 to get my registration. My hobbies are cooking and listening music.
That's good. Sandy?
My name is Sandy. I have done Diploma in Indoor Nursing. I need 65 each for my registration, and my hobbies are listening music and traveling.
It's good. Aliyah?
My name is Alia. I'm currently enrolled in Diploma of Nursing, and I need 65 each score in PTE for my registration with ASPirant.
Yep.
My hobbies are walking, hiking, swimming.
That's good.
My name is Gursev Singh. I'm a chef as a profession. I'm doing PT for my visa purpose, and I need 65 each and every module. I have chosen PT because it's computer-based exam and with the quick result. I love reading books.
That's good. Okay, so now the introduction is over. Let's start with today's item type or today's question type in PTE, which is write from dictation. Now, before we go to write from dictation, we will have again a revisit our. We've been visiting this screen many times, but it is important to know all item types in speaking, in listening module, so that you can understand that which item types are the most important ones. So those 4 highlighted item types are the most important ones. If you have 90% or 100% accuracy in them, you can pass PTE with 79 plus score. Provided you have 90 in, you can pass listening with 79 plus score, provided you have 90 in speaking, because you have potential 35 marks coming from speaking, from repeat sentence, read a lecture, and answer short questions towards listening. Good. But if we talk about the most important item types in listening, these are the most important item types in listening, the ones which are highlighted in yellow. If I have to add another item, I will add another highlight correct summary. So you can also see I have made it bold. But you have MCQs, both type and select missing words. These item types only carry 4 to 5 marks out of 90 and only going towards listening. But what happens if you don't manage time well, if you spend more time there, you would be left with very less time for write from dictation, which will put you in a very, very terrible situation in the exam. If you are unable to complete full write from dictation properly, if you have say 40% accuracy or 50% accuracy, don't expect to pass. So we need in write from dictation minimum 90% accuracy or 100% in the other in the best scenario. Good. So we are going to cover write from dictation today, and we will also talk about the select missing words towards the end of the session. But first, we have to put enough time on the write from dictation. Now, write from dictation. How does the screen look like? So this is how the screen looks like in write from dictation. This screen is because I have to I screenshot it, so it is a little bit blurry. But we can clearly see you have a box, typing box, and you have this box here which shows the timer and things, and then you have cut copy paste button. No one hardly, no one, most times it will use any of those buttons. You don't have time for that, but they have there, and you have instruction. And then in the corner on the right hand top you have time. So in the time, we can't see here, but if you focus, it says like 22 or out of 42 or something, and you have like 11 minutes left. Basically, in the exam, this scenario will be 16 out of 19 or 15 out of 18, something like that, and you will have 3 to 4 minutes left. That would be the best situation to be in the exam. So you need at least one. I'm going to cover this in the next few slides, but you need at least 1 minute every write from dictation so that you can do it properly in the exam with typing and proofreading and all that. Good. So what that means, if you are at 16 number of question and there are total 18 number of, so suppose if you are at 16 and they are say 19 number of questions, and then that means, and you are in your first write from dictation, it means that you have 4 write from dictation, 16, 17, 18 and 19. In that case, you will need at least 4 minutes here to be able to do that properly. Okay, but if you have 4.5 or 5 minutes, that's good. Good. So we play smart. So we try to skip through one of the multiple choice questions, so that in that question type, while the audio is going, you're selecting the option. So you sacrifice that question to get that extra 30 seconds edge on write from dictation, or maybe so extra 30 seconds or up to 1 minute edge on the write from dictation. This is how we. So in ideal situation, you should not finish the whole listening section with 5 minutes to spare. No. You should finish the listening whole section with 1 minute to spare. So perfect management of time is very, very important. Okay. Right. Next, what happens in write from dictation? So they give you 10 seconds waiting time. There will be an audio. Audio is only 1 second only, and audio. There will be an audio which is only 1 sentence. It's not a long audio. It is just 1 sentence. And you are required to type the sentence in the box exactly the way you hear it. Exactly the way you hear it. Is there any other item type which is like that in other module? Repeat sentence. Not read aloud. Repeat sentence in speaking. So repeat sentence is also highest scoring for speaking as well as for listening. If from repeat sentence you have 30 approximately marks going towards speaking, and approximately 20 marks are coming towards listening. And in this, because in repeat sentence you listen and you speak, so they give you a score for listening and speaking. In this, you listen and you write, so they give you a score for listening and writing. Right? Now let's have a look how this item type is scored. So this item type scores you for writing and as well as listening. So writing, how many marks? Approximately 25 to 28 marks. That figure may vary a little bit around that mark, but 25 to 28 marks are in write from dictation. Now, I bet you, if you are failing in your writing and listening, this is to blame. You feel that you have written the full sentence, but it's only 40% correct because you have 3 spelling mistakes, you have 2 capitalization errors, and you have 2 grammar errors. And you have skipped 3 words. Right? We feel that we are correct, but we are not. So, and in listening, approximately 20 marks are going towards listening from write from dictation. So you can figure out it's almost 1/3 of PTE, 1/3 of listening and 1/3 of writing. So because PTE, in PTE, what they have done, we call it item response theory, IRT. On the basis of IRT, they have given the weightage to each item type. So the item types which are directly correlated with the outcomes of the test. For For example, they want you to be fluent in English, so they want you to communicate on day-to-day basis without any hesitation. That is a level of 65 each. So on the basis of that, they have given highest weightage to repeat sentence and write from dictation, because command in these two item types is directly parallel to the command in English, basically. Right? So basically, so that you are able to follow directions at work. If you're talking to your colleague, your workmate, you should be able to follow the sentences, basically. Right? So that's why they have given highest weightage to repeat sentence and write from dictation. Now, it is not a memory-based test. So it is the test of the language. So if you understand the sentence, if you convert that into your language and convert it back into English, you should be able to get all the words in the right order. Same is for write from dictation. But we still have some other strategies how to deal with this item type in the exam for 100% accuracy. Now, scoring criteria. So how the item type is scored? Every word written correctly. When I say written correctly, that means spelling wise and grammatically. That will give you 1 mark. Every word written correctly and grammatically correct and spelling wise correct will give you 1 mark. Now, 1 mark. Now, any addition, deletions, technically 1 or 2 doesn't really make a huge difference. So I would say if you're not sure whether there was article the or a there or not, you can put it. Okay? You can put it if you are unsure. But if you're 100% sure, you exactly write the same sentence. Now, if you don't put full stop in the end, you lose mark. If your first letter is not capital, you lose mark. If you miss a comma, you lose mark. It has to be grammatically correct. For example, the sentence is, if you work hard, you are sure to pass. If you work hard, comma, because starting with if. If the sentence was, in recent years, social media has changed the way we communicate. In recent years, comma. If you don't put comma, you lose mark. Make sense? Same is with the sentences. So you have suppose sometimes I went to shopping center, comma, and I bought a cup of, a jar of chocolates. So in that case, if I have again, I again after so I'm writing full sentence. So you need comma before and. Good. So you need to understand what are the rules of comma. Now, when I say comma, so comma is the biggest, and then secondly apostrophe. That's where people make mistakes. For example, students' books. Yeah. So students. Now, if you say books. So if you have books here, I would have students as, and then apostrophe should be here. Means multiple students and multiple books. Right? If you say this students, that means one student's book. That means single student's book. This means multiple students' books. So possessive. So that's the apostrophe. Rules of the apostrophe you should be aware of. Is that right? And then yesterday we also discussed it is, its, and then we discussed it is, its. So this its means, apostrophe means it is. That's a contraction of it is. But if you talk of this its without apostrophe, it shows possessive. For example, cat and its fur is very beautiful. In that case, you don't need this one. You don't need apostrophe between it and s. I'm telling you, these mistakes, they cost you very dear. You are, will, you. So you means you sometimes say you. Now this is a contraction of you have. If they said didn't, that means didn't. That means did not. That's a contraction. So whenever we contract two words into single word, sometimes we do that in spoken and even in written English. Try to avoid when you do so. But if it appears in write from dictation or speech sentence, you have to exactly repeat exactly or write exactly the way you hear it.
But can we write down the did not instead of didn't?
No, you can't. Not in write from dictation. That's what I'm trying to say. But if you write your summaries, if you write your anything in essay, try don't to write contractions because you are more likely to make mistakes. Okay? But if you come across in read aloud, exactly speak the way you see it. Exactly write the way you hear it. And in the same repeat sentences, exactly speak the way you hear it. Make sense? Now, capitalization. Very important. Okay. Now, some people will even capitalize government. It's a common noun. It is a common noun. You can't capitalize government. Governments are many. But if you say the state government, you can capitalize state and government, it's okay. But even if you don't capitalize it, it's okay. But there are certain nouns. Say UK. You have to capitalize it. The UK. And always article comes with it. The UK. The US. Especially when you have these abbreviated forms of names of the countries. Wednesday. It has to be capitalized. On Wednesday, the library will be closed for maintenance. Full stop. In that case, Wednesday has to be capitalized. Is that right? So those mistakes, they cost you very dear in write from dictation. So for you, you have written it correctly, but for computer, now you have 4 words incorrect, and you're expecting that you're going to pass with 65 each. So attention to detail is very, very important. Now, how do, what should you do? What should you do? What should we do? What should we do to get all that accuracy in write from dictation, being the highest important item, highest scoring item type for listening and writing? What should we do? Okay, so first of all, understand the switch from previous item type. So what is the previous item type from write from dictation? Highlight incorrect words. We did it day before yesterday, didn't we? Remember? Did you do some practice with that? We need 100% accuracy in highlight incorrect words. No exceptions whatsoever. Right? Does that item type carry negative marking? Yes. Highlight incorrect word? Yes. So you need to understand the switch, number 1. So why switch is important? Because if you are still feeling it is this the same item type, you're not organized. Okay, so understand the switch. Second, manage the time well. How do we manage the time well? We have already discussed that. Understand which item types carry more weightage. So what are the item types which carry more weightage in listening? Summarize spoken text, followed by fill in the blanks listening, highlight incorrect words, and write from dictation. You have another 3 item types: select missing word, 2 types of blanks, and highlight 2 types of questions, multiple answers, single answer, and then highlight in correct summary. So if I have to add another item type, I would add highlight correct summary. But select missing words and 2 types of multiple choice, they only carry 3 to 4 marks out of 90 in listening. So don't waste your much time there. Because even if you get them correct, it is not going to, losing 4 words in write from dictation is equal to losing all those 6 questions. Does that make sense? Good? So understand it. Make sure your cursor is in the typing box during 10 seconds waiting time. As I said before, they give you 10 seconds waiting time. So this is the first thing you do. Oh, my write from dictation, get the cursor in the box. Because what happens, if you are running short of time and you are typing, most of us are not the typer ASDF typers, are you? No one of. Do you do ASDF typing? No. I just look at the typing board and then that's how we do it. Okay? So, in that case, if you are not looking at the screen, you're typing the word, it is not being typed because the cursor is not in that. That has happened with one of my students. So, we don't want any silly mistake. So, suppose if you have only 10 seconds left and you are typing typing on the screen, but it is not getting typed because cursor is not in the typing box. So, make sure this is the first thing you do. Second thing, make sure you are ready with pen or marker during the 10 seconds waiting time. Another, make sure your caps lock is not on. So now this is what I have noticed as well. Many people will put that cap lock on and then you will use it to capitalize. But don't do that this way. Always press shift and then press the other button, then it will be auto. If you go this way, otherwise every time you're putting caps lock on and caps lock off. And there's very likely possibility that you leave that on and whole of the sentence is typed in the capital letters, which is grammatically Incorrect. That also has happened with one of my students. Good. So we don't want any silly mistake. Now, as the audio starts, listen to the sentence and make acronym. This is the most important thing you have to do consistently. As you have listened to Arun yesterday, this is the only way you can get the whole sentence in the right order. I'm going to explain what does acronym mean. Next, transfer, then write, once the audio has gone, write the full sentence in the notebook. So first you make acronym while you're listening. After that, you expand that to full sentence in the notebook. Then you quickly transfer it onto the screen. Once you have transferred into the screen, then you check for grammatical accuracy and spelling errors. Make sure there is full stop, first letter is capitalized, comma, apostrophe, and everything. That is when you are ready with your response. Then you hit next for the next one. To do this whole thing average, you will need minimum 1 minute to do one right from dictation. Why? Because for 10 seconds you won't be able to do anything. That's just the waiting time. So in that, you make sure you're ready, put cursor in the box and you're ready to listen. Right? So 1 minute, for some people who are slow with the computer, I would give a little bit more than even 1 minute. So that's why in the right from dictation section, the timer in our portal, timer has been automatically set to almost 1 minute, inclusive of the audio. Good. Now, proofread for grammar and spelling. Now, proofread, this word is also mostly, people will write it wrongly. You will make two words. It is a single word. Proofreading is a single word. Okay. Now, what are my strategies? Now, I'll explain here right from dictation. The only strategy to get all the words in the correct order is acronym method. Now, what the hell is acronym method? What is it? Acronym method. So, writing down first letter of each word in your notebook while you are listening to the audio. Now, you will not be able to do that straight away in the first go. Not even the second go. So, you have to promise me 45 minutes of consistent practice before you say no to Mohinder that I can't do it. So same method is also applicable to repeat sentence to some extent. Not to a large extent, because in repeat sentence, if you stop, here you have 1 minute. In that, it is prompt. So you listen to a sentence, 1 second gap, you have to speak it back. But you can still use this method in that some of the students have been using it. So that you memorize, you're speaking all the words in the right order. Does it make sense? Good? Okay. But if in a repeat sentence, if you're comfortable listening and speaking, do it. But if it is not working for you, you need some sort of strategy so that you can deliver the same in the exam. That's why practice makes a big difference in PTE. Most people who do exam many times, they do get better and better at it. Okay? So do so. Now, transfer answers to the computer screen after that. Yep. And then we need at least 1 minute. I have already discussed that to do all the at least 1 minute. So if you get a little extra than 1 minute, that's it. So if you want to pass PTE with 65 and 79 each, we need 100% accuracy in this item type. If we aim 100% and if we get 90%, it's okay. Right? Good? So now we are going to do some practice with 10-15 sentences. Now when you do practice with right from dictation, don't just do practice and check what your sentence is and then move on. And how many did you get right? Not like that. Only do 20 sentences, but recognize the phrases, recognize the words, recognize what was my object, what was my subject, what is my verb here, what is my modifier, why do we need a comma here, why we don't? Ask those questions. So these things, practicing on the right track is going to make you understand that where you are making mistakes, and you're going to learn, you're going to recognize the phrases. So sometimes what happens, you can make the sentence with the same phrase, but the whole sentence will mean something else. Right? The library will be closed on Wednesday for maintenance. That's one sentence. Right? In the next one, you say the college laboratory will be closed on Wednesday for maintenance. Now, for maintenance is common, and will be closed is also common. But both sentences have a very different meaning. If you recognize the phrases, you will be able to see the same phrases in somewhere in another sentence, in repeat sentence, in anywhere. Does that make sense? So recognize phrases. Break the sentence into subject, verb, object, modifier. Sometimes you have 2 or 3 modifiers. Good? So when you do practice, don't just scroll one sentence, write and check, scroll. No, scrolling doesn't really help. What helps is doing the sentence properly and understanding the sentence, the structure of the sentence every time, so that sticks in your memory. Do practice from our portal. Do practice from any other free resource you find on YouTube or other websites. Do it as much as practice you can do. And right from Dictation, most of them, they are repeated. So the expected question file, you can look at that. I have highlighted all of them red. You do them 10 times before you go to the exam. Okay? So now we are going to do some practice. Thank you for bearing with me for this session. Now I'll also include some practice in this right now. So let's I'll bring up some audios for you, and then you do the same thing and open a Microsoft Office document, and then you type there on your computers, please. We are not going to need internet or anything. I'll play all the audios from here. I'll also show you, I'll do the same thing on the board too. Okay, then we will compare, we will try to reconstruct the sentence. Right. Are we ready? Let me check the volume first, if we have enough volume here. Ignore the first sentence, please. Just checking the volume.
You should draw your graph on a separate page.
That's fine. So that's fine. Is everyone able to hear properly? Okay. All right. So I'm going to start from 201. Are we ready? Here we go. First one.
Our food supply now contains so much added sugar that our metabolic systems can't handle it.
It was a difficult one, isn't it?
Was the voice was like double?
Yeah, but what happens is these ones have been constructed from the Siri or from the software, from the computer's voice. Okay, but what was the sentence?
Food supply
Yep.
contains too
Contains.
much sugar. That's
Yeah.
why our metabolism system cannot tolerate.
Handle it.
And
Okay, so now let's say what is my first one? Our food supply. Now our food supply is my subject, so it has to be contains. That's my verb, right? What it contains?
Sugar.
So much of sugar. That's another phrase, right? So that's my verb, that's my subject. So that what it contains? So much of sugar. That's my phrase. Then that sugar, that's the modifier part. That's starting with the that our metabolic system. That's my another phrase, right? And our metabolic system cannot or can't handle it. There is no way you can miss any single word by this strategy. You are the ones who got most of it correct. Why?
but I just write whole sentence. I just
That's
remember
okay.
in my mind, but I can't.
That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. You know, this is the strategy we have. This is my base strategy. Apart from that, whatever works for you, tweak it according to your needs. All we need is, I'm not forcing you to do something which I am doing, okay? I need 100% accuracy. You do whatever you want to do. But we have practiced with many students. This is the only way to get it.
Can you explain this again, please?
Okay, so what I said, our food supplies. So our food supply contains, that's my verb. So this is my subject. Our food supply, this is my subject. Contains is my verb. Most of the things, most of the happenings, or most of the daily activities, or most of the generalizations, we always write them in present indefinite or universal facts. This is universal fact. So they are always written in present indefinite. Right? So our food supply contains so much of sugar. So that's a phrase. We say so much of something. Right? So much of sugar. Now, so much of sugar. Now you have to explain this. We have modifier to use it, which is beginning with the clause. That's a clause as a modifier here. That. So we always start the clause with that, which, or who. If we are talking of non-living things, we can use that and which. If we are talking of living things, we always use who or whom.
And do we put comma as well?
Yes.
No, no comma here. No comma with that. There is no comma before that at all. It is a restrictive clause. So that's why I always ask you to learn about restrictive and non-restrictive clauses in academic writing. So when you have a relative pronoun being used, that is a relative pronoun being used in that clause, then you never have comma before that, because that's an essential clause. That part is essential for the meaning of the sentence. That's why we don't make it non-restrictive. We make it restrictive. Okay? Now understand this sentence. This could be a repeat sentence. Our food supply contains so much of sugar, that our metabolic system cannot handle it or can't handle it.
Like so much of sugar is free.
Yeah,
But
so
we
much,
like
because so
that.
much of people,
But
so much of this.
What
This,
about that? We can say
sorry?
like our food supply is subject.
Yeah,
Contains
is a verb. Yeah.
And most
What it contains, so much of sugar. So basically, so much is being used as adjective to modify sugar. And then whatever they are speaking after that full sentence, they are speaking about what is happening previously. So that is forming the clause. We also call it modifier. We have to break even every sentence. This is the only way we can improve our English. We need perfect 90. Who needs 90? We need 90, right? Good? Yes, what will happen if you get 90? Oh my gosh, that is what is happening. Oh my gosh, I'm going to jump from the building. Oh my gosh, I've got 90. This is pretty much what students say. Mohinder, what do you know? What did I get? I can still recall my student Niranga. She came with 42 in speaking, and when she got 90, Mohinder, do you know what did I get? This is the first word. You know, these are the first word. Mohinder, when she called me, I picked up the phone. I was expecting her results. Mohinder, do you know what did I get in speaking? I said what? Then I got 90 in speaking. I was the happiest man in the world for you guys. Right? Okay. Next one. Ready?
Yeah.
Pain is necessary, as it acts as a warning of danger.
Clear.
Pain is necessary as it is sign of danger.
Does it act as something in danger? I disown.
Warn of danger.
Warn.
Warning of danger.
Not warning, I think it's warn of danger.
Warn of danger.
Okay. Let's see. Let's see the grammatical accuracy. Now, if we have the acronym, we are trying to find what is accurate grammatically. So, it says pain is necessary. Right? So, that is my sentence here. Pain is necessary. Now, you have to, this is a complex sentence. As, that's a conjunction, two clauses in which as is in the middle. So, if you switch around the complex sentence, for example, if you work hard, comma, you're sure to pass. Another way is bring the you are sure to pass in front. Take the if to the middle and there would be no comma. So if you take the conjunction in the middle, you don't need comma. So you will say, you're sure to pass if you work hard. That sort of sentences. So this is your conjunction. This is your sentence. Full sentence, which is we also call as independent clause. So that's a pain is necessary as it acts. When you have it, we know we need acts. Right? What it acts? As a warning of danger. Now, what are my phrases here? So, warning of danger is my phrase. That's my phrase. It can appear in any other sentence.
As a conjunction.
As is a conjunction. That's right. It is a complex sentence. So, in complex sentence, if you bring the conjunction in the middle, that's why again, academic writing, complex and compound sentences. If you remember, I posted a link. Do you want to learn about this? That's where you'll read this from. Browse through your closed Facebook page, and open that link. Read it. Let's do it. We need 90, right? So we need perfection. If you slide from 90, you get still 79. Even if you slide from there, you still pass with required score by far. But we just don't want to prepare for 65. Okay, so
Pain
pain is necessary, not necessary, necessary.
Necessary.
That's how we say, not necessary, 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 not necessary. Necessary is wrong pronunciation. Necessary and necessarily. Yesterday we had one blank. Does not necessarily mean. Necessarily, not necessarily. Necessarily, necessarily. Okay, pain is necessary as it. When you have it, you need acts. So now this is conjunction. Another sentence is beginning from here. So it acts as a warning of danger. As it acts as a warning of danger.
I missed second as.
Yeah, we need as there. It acts as. It acts. So acts as, that's also phrasal verb. He acts like something. He acts like he's the manager, but he's not. This is how he acts as, acts like or acts as. That's a phrasal verb. And then because you have danger, so danger here they're using singular because he didn't say dangers. So danger is a singular. We definitely need a article to go with danger. So a what? Warning of danger.
If there is not a warning of dangers,
Could be. Good. Ready for the next one?
Popular culture is now a serious subject of academic inquiry.
Manjinder.
Popular culture is, I forgot what, as academic inquiry.
Then
Popular culture is subject of academic. Other I forgot.
academic what?
Subject of academic. Next one I don't know. I
What
just
can you
forgot.
fit in there?
Integrity.
what it sounded?
Integrity.
Academic integrity? Inquiry.
IN.
Yeah, IN, inquiry. Right? So popular culture is now. So popular culture is now a serious subject. SS. A serious subject. Subject needs an article. A serious is adjective. A serious subject. Yesterday we covered article, adjective, noun. I'm not talking anything special. Same thing I've been teaching for last 2 years. So a serious subject of academic inquiry means inquiry. INQUIRY. We call it inquiry. It's an inquiry.
I write down never, then is now.
You can write anything. But this sentence just now makes sense. So whatever the popular culture is in that uni or institution, they are actually, it's a now serious subject for academic inquiry. For example, getting people to practice just the exam question before the exam. If some institutions are doing that so that their teachers get good grades because all the students are passing. But at the same time, it might undermine the students' learning outcomes. When they're going to the job, they don't know anything. Now, academic inquiry, that could be a phrase. There is an academic inquiry on Professor blah blah blah's research. Phrase. That now is appearing as a subject.
what is the spelling of academic
Inquiry. We call it inquiry.
INQUIRY?
Yeah, that's right. Academic is an adjective. Academic inquiry.
Is it E? Inquiry, what is
There are slight variation with US and UK. Have a look, please. Enquire is a verb, enquire, and sometimes we also use inquire. So there is a variation between US and UK. Have a look, please. Okay, next one.
Practicing time-restricted eating a few times a week could be both feasible and healthy.
something like that. So it's difficult one. You have to view the answer for that. Who's got what?
No. Half practice time could be missed at both feast and healthy.
Few times of the week.
Yeah, few times
Times a
of
week.
week, of a few times a week, few times a week. That seems to be okay. For both, and healthy was last one. Practice. So it could be one time in a week, something like that. It could be something like that. Let's have a look. Yeah, restricted. So practicing. So practicing rather than practice. Practicing time restricted eating. So time restricted eating. Eating. We are talking of eating. A few times a week. Only a few times a week could be both feasible and healthy. So it was feasible. Feasible. F-E-A. Feasible. That's an adjective. Feasible and healthy. Feasible and healthy. Practicing time restricted eating. Eating. So time restricted eating. Practicing means to practice time restricted eating a few times a week. It is about, they're talking of diet and all that stuff. Yep, is both feasible and healthy. I'll stop the lecture recording now. So I think we've done well.